Fighting to follow. Fighting to follow. That's something not common. Often, as human beings, we often will take what they call as the easier view. No? Kasi, mahirap nga naman. When you say, you're fighting to follow, it's a different story. Kasi, you're actually understanding the importance of the fight. Sa atin kasi madalas we follow to a point of comfort. I will follow kapag like okay pa. When things are going my way, when my plans are working out as I have expected, when pag maganda, when you're following Jesus, it's easy to follow Jesus when there's no storm. Sabi niya ni Pastor Paul kanina, sabi ni Pastor Bob last Sunday evening, na after the storm, merong blessing. Sabi ng wife ko, wala bang blessing na walang storm? That's a question I've asked many times. Tama? I hate to break it to you though, but no, there's not. There's not a blessing without a storm. Because there's something about storms that prepares things for a blessing. Nililinis niya muna kasi. Daming kalat. Napansin niyo ba yun? I saw a video, it was a video and a picture of doon sa Palawan. Sa Palawan, di ba maraming mga yung underground river, yung mga gano'n. Tapos may area doon where you have to like zigzag through the parang canyons na ganyan. Ganda. Kaso nagkabagyo, grabe yung basura. Nag-trap yung mga basura ng mga turista dun sa canyon sa mga sulok-sulok ng mga caves doon sa Palawan. And they were taking in like drums and drums and drums of yung mga divers, iniipon nila, daming basura talaga, grabe. No? Hindi napapansin ng mga tao, yung pakonti-konti tinatapon, ganun lang, and you don't see that, and you fail to see that, and until you come to that point na magkano bagyo, naglaba sa lahat ng basura. Ganyan din sa Ross Boulevard, nagkaroon ng bagyo last week, hindi mo alam kung anong mas malala, yung basura o yung baha. Kasi, nagdadrive ka na nga in your car, doon sa putikan, sa baha, yung kotse mo kalahati na kalubog, tapos yung bubuk mo hanggang ng basura. Ng basura, grabe. Something about storms, they clear it up. It's easy to follow Jesus when things are going our way. It's easy to follow God when our plans are working. Pag masaya, pag masarap, pag okay lahat. Easy. That's the easiest time to follow. Truth be told, when things are doing great, hindi ka naman talaga nagpa-follow kay Jesus. Nag-receive ka lang ng blessing. Wala nang masama to receive the blessing, but we must understand na yung point of blessing and point of trials are both purposeful sa Panginoon. Pareho yun. Meron. Pareho yun. So when you follow, sabi nung Padre Paul, I will fight to follow. Kasi when you're following Jesus, sinabi ni Jesus yun eh. In fact, it's sort of like a basis to this, to where we're going today. Kasi the people were following Jesus sa Mark, and that's also mentioned in Matthew. They're following Jesus, and Jesus at this time was becoming very famous. Medyo sikat na siya kasi ang dami niyang mga miracles, medyo matindi na yung mga ginagawa niya. In fact, Jesus at one point nainis eh. Sabi niya sa mga tao, sunod kayo ng sunod. Di naman kayo susunod pag hindi ako gagawa ng miracle. You're not going to follow me unless I do a miracle. Medyo somewhat irritated na si Jesus. And Jesus was telling people, ganito. And in the synoptic gospel, kasi yung sa Bible natin, nasa Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they are highlights of the life of Jesus. So sometimes you will see something mentioned tungkol sa isang bagay dito, Pero walang detail sa kabila. So pag binasa mo, mapagdudugtong mo sila, okay, gets ko na. Sa Matthew po at saka sa Mark, mayroong same rendering or kwento nung pagkukwentuhan natin ngayong umaga. Pero may kulang yung isa, may dagdag. Bakit, Pastor, ganon? Hindi po sila dadagdag. They're not removing, hindi po ito election, may dagdag bawas, no? Wala po pinalaman ng complex sa translation ng Bible natin, no? May bawas, okay? Tapos nakasara na, basa pa rin, pero 2 years na. No, walang gano'n, walang gano'n. Tsaka partial, 25% shading. Wala nun, okay? So, if we're talking about here, some synoptic gospels, merong binabanggit si Matthew na gusto i-highlight about an event. Si Mark din meron, si Luke meron, si John meron. Kanya-kanya silang pananaw, pero same event, okay? So what's interesting is, si Jesus was teaching and speaking to people, and he was sharing the word, and he was teaching about the kingdom. And in the book of, I believe it was in Matthew, sa rendering sa Matthew, sabi ni Jesus sa mga tao, come follow me. Kasi dami sumusunod eh. No? Tapos mga tao are just following and following and following. Sabi ni Jesus, you gotta follow me. Kasi sabi, you have to follow me. Yung mga tao parang ang kulit nila, they just want to follow for the sake of, kasi sikat eh. Gusto ko yun eh. Like these days, sikat maging Christian ngayon. No? Sikat maging Christian ngayon. I remember in the 80s, lahat ng artista Christian. No? Pati mga bombasta, Christian lahat. 80s and 90s, man. No? Ubot-ubot para kay Jesus. Dami na yung mga 80s and 90s. Kasi hindi na fad. Ngayon fad na ulit. No? Ngayon fad na ulit. Sa America, you'll see that. They will, confess Jesus. Tama? Pero they believe in abortion. Hindi ko mapagtanto yun. Yung dalawa yun. No? Pag yung politics nila, walang kinalaman sa Christianity nila, nakakalimutan natin sa lahat ng bagay, may kinalaman lahat ng bagay. Hindi natin pwede paghiwalayin. In the Christian life, there's no sacred and there's no secular. Everything is sacred. In other words, lahat ng bagay sa buhay natin, sa Panginoon, kung tagasunod ka ni Kristo, hindi ka pwede mamili. Okay, so ito yung mga tao, following in Jesus, sabi sa Christ, sabi niya, Master, sabi niya kay Jesus, I will follow you. I will follow you for the rest of my life. Sabi ni Jesus, come follow me. Sabi ni Isa, wait. Let me first bury. Maglilibing muna ako. Sabi ni Jesus, a famous verse I like to quote, pero is naman ko para joke. Sabi ni Jesus, let the dead bury the dead. Hindi naman pumalupit si Jesus. Kasi sabi niya, bayaan mo ng ilibing ng patay ang kapwa patay. What he was saying was, if you're going to follow me, follow me. Huwag kang gumawa ng excuses kung kailan ka lang susunod sa akin. It's a sovereign is ni Jesus. We will find in some renderings sa book of Mark, he decides, he says, sa inistig niya sabi niya, let's go to the other side of the boat. Hindi nila alam they were being set up for a storm kasi he says that, and Jesus said to the disciples, let's cross to the other side. Ganun kainis si Jesus ng konti sa mga tao kasi bad rin kasi. So Jesus says, let's cross over to the other side of the lake. Let's go over there. Sabi niya, medyo bad rin to. Siyempre, mga disciples, sakit naman sila sa baka. And so, they took Jesus in the boat, and they started out, leaving crowds behind, and although other boats followed, ako na itong mga tao, na sumunod talaga naisip ko tuloy, pag binabasa ko ito, nung nangyari kaya itong bagyo, nung ginawa may bagyo, wala si Jesus sa loob So other boats followed, but soon, a fierce storm came up. High waves breaking into the boat. And it began to fill with water. That's a lot of water. Hindi po ito basta bagay na pupuno na. It began to fill with water. And Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head in the cushion. Si Jesus tulog, may ulan pa. Tingnan mo yung katabi mo kung may dalang ulan. Sabi mo, Brad, hindi ikaw si Jesus. Bawal yan. Okay. Jesus was at the back of the boat with his head in the cushion. When the disciples woke him up, shouting, Teacher! Or Master! Don't you word sa Greek, sa don't you care. Ang rendering sa Greek po na, have you no concern? Wala ka bang paki sa akin? Di ba anak mo ko? Have you felt like that sometimes in your life? As far as you know, you're following Jesus. As far as you know, sumusunod ka sa Panginoon. The best that you can, you're doing your best. You're not perfect, nobody's perfect. But you're following Jesus, and yet the Lord leads you into a storm. And you say to God, God, talaga lang, God? Have you ever had those? God, alam ka bang pakialam? No? Have you ever had those? I've had those. I've had times in my life where the storm was so heavy. The storm in my life was so heavy na humiga ka sa lupa. This is literally on my side. Yung mukha mo na sa sahig. Tapos pakiramdam mo, ang baba-baba mo na, pero parang ang baba mo pa rin. Kung pwede kang magbukay, tapos pumasok ka sa loob, mas magandang description. Ever had those? Ever had times in your life to say, God, sigurado ka ba? God, wala ka bang paki? God, I'm just trying to serve you. Bakit ganito ang nangyayari? You ever had those? I've had those. I've had those. Ever had injustice done to you? Ever been betrayed? Ever been spoken of? Ever been willfully, hindi sinasadya, yung sadyaan na sinaktan o siniraan? Ever had those? I've had those. In my mind, sometimes I've had too many of those. Ever had those? Ever had one of those times when you regret that you ever followed God? I've had those too. Yung nagsisi ka, kasi dapat ginawa ko na yung sunod ko. Sumunod-sunod pa ako. Ever had those? I've had those too. So we're the same boat. Don't you care that we're going to drown? When Jesus woke up, He rebuked the wind and said to the water, silence, be still. Suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. And he asked them, why are you afraid? Do you still? The Lord said, still. Bakit? Kasi after all the miracles, they still doubted Jesus. Bakit kayo tatakot? Hindi pa rin ba kayo naniniwala sa akin? Interesting kasi sa Greek, you have no faith. Ang sinasabi niya, do you not give me any credit? Wala pa ba akong ginagawa para maniwala kayo sa akin? And the disciples were absolutely terrified. Who is this man? They asked each other. Even the winds and the waves, they obeyed him, following Jesus into the storm. Some things we need to be reminded of. I actually had to shorten this thing because there was so much here. I'll just finish it up again next Sunday morning. So much. Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes there are storms natin. There's at least 3 areas. Pagka dumaan, maybe some of you can relate. Pili ka na lang kung anong number mo. Ngayon bago pa tayo loto, pili ka. Which door do you like? Okay. I hope you don't choose all 3. Pagkatapos mo. Where do we struggle in times of our storms? The first time that we struggle in our storms is, we struggle with understanding. We want to have all the answers for all of our questions. Have you had those? God! Ano po ba sagot dito? You had those? Ever said to God, God, pwede ba pakiayos mo na lang? We struggle with understanding. No? Here they are, they're in the boat. Grabe, they're filling with water. And they're beginning to drown. How do you know delikado ito? Kasi yung kumakausap kay Jesus, mangingisda. No? Pag yung karpintero, ang natatakot sa tubig, huwag ka mag-alala. Karpintero yun. Okay? Pag yung abogado, ang natatakot sa tubig, huwag ka mag-alala. Abogado yun. Pag yung bangkero ang natakot sa tubig, umiyak ka na. I remember being in a storm. Buong pamilya ko nandun. Sabi ko, ang lakas kong bumabagyo talaga. Sabi ko kay Manong, Manong, okay lang ba tayo? Alam mo yung nakangiti pero hindi nakangiti, naiiyak pero gusto tumawa. Yung ngiting aso. Okay lang, sir. Pagkatapos na bumiti, hindi na wala ngiti niya. Habang nagkakasal tubig palabas, seryados, we struggle with that. We struggle with understanding. We want to have all the answers sa lahat ng tanong natin, pero parang si Jesus natutulog. No? Gumawa ng singer, di ba, sa Tagalog dati ng unang panahon, natutulog ba ang Diyos? Parang naalala ko yung title niya. Mga Pilipino, pag nagka-problema tayo, nag-iibo tayo. Mga Amerikano, nagbabagsak na kung ano-ano, mga Pilipino na umiyak na ito. Struggle number one, maybe you're here. Number two, you struggle here. You struggle with your helplessness. Katalong kamay. We want results in our favor, but are not able to make them happen. So, we tell God. We don't ask, we tell. Tinuturuan natin si God. No? So we tell God what we want to happen. God! Wala ka bang pake? Sa Matthew, ganun yung rendering, sabi niya, Master, we are drowning. Do something. Yeah, those. Sabi ng isang pastor, ba't ganun? Number 1 na ako, number 2 pa rin. Malaki, medyo malalim yung tama mo. We struggle with helplessness. Kasi ginawa mo lahat ng ginawa mo, pinrinay mo lahat ng pinrinay mo, lahat na binuhos mo, kulang pa rin. Nagbakang sila sa lahat, wala pa rin. You've read the Bible over and over and over. No? Sabi ng tatay ko binuksan mo yung Bible, kasama mo, God! Bahala ka na kung saan mo bagsak tong page ng Bible. Yun ang gagawin mo. Binagsak mo yung Bible, mukhang ganun. Pagturo mo nakalagay. Kung ano sabihin ng Bible, ito susutin mo. Pagtingin mo na nakalagay. At nagbigti si Judas. Ang gagawin mo ganyan. So inulit-ulit, binagsak mo ulit. Pagbukas na ganun nakalagay, hubayo ka, gawin mo rin. Laki ang problema. Ever had those? We struggle with helplessness. No? Struggle with helplessness. Wala kang magawa Ibig ka lang. Nag-aaway ang magulang mo. Gusto maghiwalay. Nasa gitna ka. Diba? Masipag ka mag-aral. Wala ka naman pambayad. Tama? Gusto mo magtrabaho. May sakit ka. Nag-apply ka na nag-apply. Kompleto ka naman. Hindi ka makakuha mo. Hindi sinigar ka. Kung ganito na lang kaya gawin mo. Ever had those? Ako, madalas siya sa akin. I confess. I have many suggestions to the Lord. I praise God. He did not listen to any of them. Kundi ang dahil mga patay na tao. God, ang kulit nito, pakikuha mo na lang. Yung gano'n. Kundi iyahatid ko sa hiyan. Ever had those? Third struggle. We struggle, ano sabi natin una? We struggle with what? Our understanding. We struggle with our helplessness. Third struggle. We struggle with our faith. Pag nagawa mo na lahat, tapos wala ka pa rin sagot, ito usually yung huli. So, ang dami ng mga tao, naging atheist dahil dyan. Alam mo yun? Dahil hindi nila matanggap yung circumstances nila because they can't accept the circumstances, because they can't accept the will of God in their life, they just decide, there's no God. Siguro walang Diyos. Kasi hindi niya binigay yung hinihingi ko sa Kanya sa oras na binigay ko. I'll just do it on my own. Ako na lang. I'll just make the right decisions on my own. Since ang tagal ni God, that's really foolish, you know. Why is it foolish? Have you ever seen a child do his own thing? Sino dito yung mga anak na tika sa ulo? Ako, dami. Yung pag sinabi mo, wag, tapos kailangan niya subukan, kasi ayaw niya maniwala sa'yo, di ba? Anak, huwag kang lumundag sa fifth floor ng mega mo. Hindi, kahit mo lang. Di ba? Tama? May barkada ako dati, yung anak niya, yung kanyang siya, sila babagay ng anak niya, tulog. Kailangan na magsiya. Nagkataon po yung kanyang, hagdan, pababa. Tapos yung pintuan ng siya, so baka magising yung bata, 3 years old, 4 years old. Ginawa niya, naupo siya sa inodoro, ang ginagawa niya, nabuksan niya yung pinto para ma-observe niya kung ano nangyari. No? Opo. Nagkataon na tapos sa kanyang famous na Midyasis, so nakaupo siya doon. Pagka nagkasakit kayo, pero walang alisan yun, di ba? So, gano'n. Habang nakaupo pa, suddenly, dumating yung anak niya, 4 years old. Pagtingin niya agad, masama na kutub niya. Alam niyo bakit? Kasi yung bata, may nakataling panyo. May pakpak. Sa mga magulang, alam na kung ano yung susunod doon, di ba? Tumayo yung bata sa top of the stairs. Sabi ng tatay, huwag kang gagalaw dyan! Diyan ka lang! Sabi ng bata, Superman! Na-inspire na Superman. Sabi ng bata, Tumaman! Sabi ng tatay, pag mawala ka dyan, Superman, papaluin na sinturon. Sabi ng bata, 1, 2, tayo si tatay, walang pulas-pulas eh. Bakit? Because the father understood the consequences that the child did not. Tama? Naintindihan ng tatay yung consequences na hindi naintindihan ng bata. When we struggle with our faith, when we don't have an answer, we began to question God. But he was sleeping. Sabi niya, God, wala ka bang pake? We struggle with His concern. We struggle with His plan. We struggle with God, and we began to question our faith. Totoo ba yan? Hindi natin naiintindihan. The more we question our faith, the more we gorge ourselves in trouble. Mas marami tayong problema ginagawa for ourselves. Why, Pastor? Because God is not affected if you don't choose to believe Him. Tama ba yan? Affected ba si God kung gusto magpakamatay ka na lang? He's still God. Sabi niya ni David, in the time of his great struggle, sabi niya, for He is God, and He does whatever He pleases. Hindi mo siya affected. Sirain mo yung buhay mo, sirain mo yung future mo, bahala na kung ano mangyari. He's not affected. We struggle. Pastor, may problema ako sa preaching mo. Kasi yung 1, 2, 3 mo, so far, 1, 2, 3, tsaka kung may 4, sigurado doon din ako eh. Good news, wala po tayong 4. So, hindi ka sasabay doon. So what do we do? What are some things we need to remember when we go into the storm and we follow Jesus in the storm? Going back to Mark chapter 4, he says what? An evening came. Jesus said to his disciples, let's go to the other side of the lake. And they took Jesus in the boat, and they started out leaving the crowds behind. Although there were other boats that followed, but soon a fierce storm came. And Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up shouting, Teacher, don't you care that we are going to drown? What are some things you need to remember in times of a storm? Maybe some of you are in this position this morning. Some things you need to remember in the midst of the storm. That you should remember His personal presence. Notice the verse. And Jesus was sleeping at the back. Sometimes, hindi natin nakikita si Jesus sa kayong plano niya sa buhay natin. Right there. But remember, Jesus is always there. We can never be in a place where His presence does not go with us. And that His deity assures, His promise affirms. Let's look at theology for a second. God has at least 4 distinct major qualities. Ang application sa dalawa nito ay dalawa sa 4. First, He is called omnipresent. Ano yung omnipresent? That means walang lugar sa buong mundo o sa labas ng mundo na wala ang Diyos o presensya niya. There's no place in the world or outside of the world or in all of creation where there is no God or no presence of God. Sabi ng astronaut, the first man who walked on space, he was a Russian, and he says, I have been to the place where God is and did not find Him, so therefore I conclude there is no God. Sabi ng isang Christian philosopher in response to the astronaut, dear fellow respectable astronaut, may I just simply ask you, have you been to every place where God could possibly be? Napuntahan mo na ba ang lahat ng lugar kung saan posibleng meron Diyos? Because God is omnipresent. There's no place you can go. That's why in Philippians chapter 2, ano sabi? Chapter 2, 5 to 11, ano sa latter part, sabi niya, and that what? Of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Walang lugar. He is not only omnipresent, He's also immutable. Ano yung immutable? He doesn't change. God doesn't change. He's constant. He doesn't change. And what do I remember about His omnipresence? Sabi niya sa Matthew 20, sabi niya, what? And lo, I am with you always. Always. Kahit matapos ang mundo. Always. Pastor, what is my assurance that the deity of God follows me? Kasi yung promise niya. What is His promise? Sabi niya, heaven and earth will pass away. But my promise, my words, will never pass away. His word remains forever. His word remains forever. The deity of God assures His promise. And His promise affirms it. Yung pagka-Diyos niya, ang pwede mong isandigan na kasama mo siya. At pag nagduda ka doon, when you begin to doubt His presence, when you, listen to me, when you begin to doubt the presence of God, remember His promise. Pag nagdududa ka na sa bigat ng pinagdadaanan mo, kung ang Diyos ba nandun, alalahanin mo yung pangako niya. Because if He is not immutable, if He is not omnipresent, if He breaks His promise, He ceases to be God. Then hindi na siya Diyos. Kasi kung ang Diyos po natin ay naapektuhan ng pangako ng tao, walang kwenta Diyos yan. Magsasarili na ako. That's not my God. I've said that for many, many years. And you can misquote me like many people misquote our president. I don't know if he understands the theology behind what he said, but it is actually true. Kung ganun kahina ang Diyos, then hindi magandang klaseng Diyos yun. Magsarili lang tayo. Because the God of my Bible says, He doesn't change, and His promises never fail. Pag dumaan ka sa bagyo, trust His personal presence. Ano ibig sabihin ng pastor? His presence always results in your peace. Ulit ha? Madalas kasi po sa mga Kristiyano, we look for the peace of God sa lahat ng bagay. Ay! Siguro ito yung tama kasi may peace ako doon. Ay, hindi po. Hindi po. Huwag kayo malinlang. No? No? Ay, pastor! Siguro siya ang kalooban ng Panginoon. Kasi panatagalong ko sa Kanya. Tsaka pogi. Bad move, bad move. Madalas ganun tayo, ano? Kalooban ni God yan. Kasi may peace ako eh. Hindi po, hindi po. Truth be told, no, the real will of God is found in the peace of God, even when there's a storm. Yung bang sumusunod ka, tapos sabi nga ng verse, and the peace of God, na hindi mo maintindihan, pero mapayapa ka. Malungkot ka, pero mapayapa ka. Nangihinayang ka, pero mapayapa ka. Masakit, pero mapayapa ka. Everything is there, pero mapayapa ka. The peace of God is there. Will keep you. I love that word, keep. Ibig sabihin mo yung sakluban, yakapin. Will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Kasama po ng presence ng Panginoon ang kapayapaan ng Panginoon. So mga magulang, alam niyo yan, di ba? Yung anak niyo, no? Tama, nadapa, nahulog, nagkaroon ng bukol, tinubuan ang ulo, sobrang laki. Nagwawala, umiiyak, it's a meltdown. It's a nuclear meltdown. Ano gagawin mo? Daming dugo. Minsan, may dugo pa eh. No? Iyayakapin mo. I remember na si Franklin, medyo testing ko minsan yan. Sabi namin, anak, don't sit at the top of the stairs and you look under to see kung nasa baba. Guess what? Ginawa niya. So from the top of the stairs, parang siyang stuntman, gumulong-gulong siya. Yung mga dali nandito, asawa ko meron siyang ano eh. Alam niyo yung ano, yung habulang statwa, yung pag natas ka tumitigil kang gano'n. Ang misis ko po may gano'n, pag nahuhulog yung anak niya. Pag nasa niya, Saka gano'n lang siya. Wala! I'm like, ma, ikaw ang hindi gumagalaw. Diyan ka lang! I'm like, ma, ikaw yung diyan ka lang, gumalaw ka. Yung nakagano'n, may habulang statwa, okay. Tapos si Franklin decides to sit on the stairs, and I see it coming. Said, Franklin, don't try. Guess what? Try. Gumulong siya para stuntman all the way down to the top, first floor to the second floor ng bahay namin all the way sa baba. Parang ang stuntman, no? Parang si Jackie Chan. Starts falling, right? Pagbangon, alam niyo, umiyak pero tunog. You know that? Yung mga anak, no? Yung asong na hindi pa huminga. 3 days later. Diba yung dalawa yung that? Eh, mga torture price sa mga magulang yan, no? Eh, si Andron, premature, pag ginawa niya, nagiging dulo talaga yung mga katawan niya. So, it's like, gano'n. Eh, paano ba hindi? Pagbangon ng ulo, oh my goodness! Yung ulo, tinubuan ng ulo. I'm not kidding. Kasi laki ng ping-pong ball na malaki na dito. Yung nakaganon talaga, nakabilog. Hindi ko alam kung dapat ko ba lagyan ko ng yelo o drawing ng mukha. Ang laki! It was massive, man. It's huge. So kinuha ko sabi sa get ice. You have to press that down, you know. Ididiin mo yan para lumubog. No. May choice ka, ididiin mo para lumubog para hindi maging permanent bukol, o kumuha ka ba dito, tuktok yung kabila, para dalawa na. That's the only choice you have. So torture na torture pa more. So hindi mo you cry, and he's struggling, like, it's okay, daddy's got, anak, it's okay, you trust me. Eh, ang sakit eh. Ang laki ng yelo. Yung sa mga buksigero, ginagawa yan, di ba? Ginagalaw ko lang. I was struggling, we're fighting. I had to pin him with my legs, and he's fighting with me kasi masakit. Sino may kasalanan? It was his fault, not mine. But I gotta fix it. So I'm fixing it. I'm struggling. And I said, anak, you have to see it. Nung nakita niya, nakulit kasi nakagana mo talaga eh, no? So, just trust that. So I'm doing this now, I'm doing this. You know, and finally, nag-subside ng God, and we have to go to the hospital. You know, to have it scanned or whatever and check. Kasi laki na talaga, massive eh. So, you know, obviously, negative naman yung brain damage. Matagal na po yan. And so we fixed it, you know, and then in the midst of the crying, He comes down. Did the bukol go away? Well, lumubog. Did the pain go away? No, kasi matagal pa laking pasahan niya. Did the trauma of falling one story as I think he was 3 years old, but that happened 2 years old, go away? No, andun pa rin. Andun pa rin. But every time mom or dad holds him, nagka-calm down. Kasi he began to trust the hands na hindi ka sinasaktan ng magulang mo, kundi pinapagaling ka. Sometimes in the midst of our storms, we forget the presence of God. But the presence of God results in our peace. And the peace of God, na kahit hindi mo maintindihan, kahit magulo, kahit masakit, kahit may bukol, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. In the midst of your storms, you follow God. Understand His presence. Second and last for today is to understand that when you are sinking, iba sa inyo rito ngayon, Pastor, hindi na ako sa struggle sa bagyo. Kasi po, malapit na ako mamatay. When you are sinking, remember, not only the presence of God, but the prevailing purpose of God. Bakit, Pastor? God's purpose and plan will always be above your storm. Remember, sino bang nagsabi na sumakay sila ng bangka? Bible quiz. Sino nagsabi? Si Jesus. Tama? As we learned already, He is not only immutable, omnipresent, He is also omniscient. Ano yung omniscient? He knows everything. Sasakay pa lang ng bangka. Jesus already knew there was a storm. Kaya siya pwedeng matulog. Kasi wala pa yung bagyo. Alam na ng Diyos yung gagawin niya. Jesus says, let's go over to the other side. You know what Jesus said? Why are you afraid? Do you still, no, said still? Wala pa rin. You know what He said? That, why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? It wasn't about the storm. Atras ka pang konti. Okay? Si Jesus, kinurek sila. Not because, listen, not because natakot sila sa bagyo. Nakakatakot naman talaga yung bagyo. Kundi po, nakalimutan nila na ang Diyos ang nagdala sa kanila dun sa bangka. Jesus questioned their faith, not because they should not be afraid of storms, but because they forgot that God led them there. When you're following Jesus, remember, when you're following Jesus and there's a storm, remember God led you there. Maybe meron siyang gustong linisin, meron siyang gustong alisin, meron siyang gustong ituro, meron siyang gustong hubugin. I don't know what it is, but if you're following God, remember, when the storm comes, God led you there. Hindi na sila basta matakot. Bagyo yun eh. Hindi na sila masaktan. He didn't say don't be hurt. He didn't say don't be scared. He didn't say don't fear na baka mamatay ka. God never said that. There's no promise in the Bible that says that. But He questioned their faith not because hindi sila dapat matakot sa bagyo. He questioned their faith because they forgot who brought them there. Jesus did. The purpose of God is always above your story. Some of you are drowning this morning. I don't know over what. Some of you are hurting this morning. I don't know what's happening. Some of you are afraid this morning. Hindi ko alam of what. Some of you are anxious and worried this morning. Hindi ko alam bakit. Some of you are dreading na maging Lunes bukas kasi you're expecting something bad. Some of you nagpa-test, meron kang sakit, and you're afraid to know what's wrong with you. But you already have a clue what's wrong with you. Some of you are in a financial storm. You tried your best, or you still made a mistake, and Ang laki ng problem is still there. If you're following Jesus, God's purpose is always above your story. What do you mean, Pastor? Because your faith is not a result of your proofs. Your faith is a result of your choice to believe that God's plans and intentions are much better than yours. Ang pananampalataya mo ay hindi po resulta ng lahat ng pruweba na meron ka. Sometimes you just don't have to. Ang faith comes when you choose to believe that God, grabe God, di ko alam paano to, but God, I choose to believe na yung plano mo sa akin, yung gusto mong gawin sa buhay ko, ay mananaig kesa sa sarili kong solusyon sa sitwasyon ko. Alam mo sa salvation, gano'n eh. Alam yung kaligtasan, yung pagpunta sa langit pag namatay, wala namang kinalaman kung nakita mo talaga yung langit eh. Wala namang kinalaman kung marami lang ginawang religious things. Kasi wala namang listahan sa Bible, gawin mo ito, tapos punta ka sa heaven. Diba? Yung magnanakaw mo, wala nagawa, nakapagod na eh. Yung tumulong sa mahirap, hindi nagawa eh. Right? But salvation comes from you saying to God, God, mabait ako, religious ako, pero God, I want to go to you when I die. Gusto kong pupunta sa langit pag namatay ako. So God, I choose your plan for me. Tinatanggap ko na ikaw lang ang tanging daan papunta. So I choose to follow you with my life. Ganun lang. Your faith is not a result of your proofs. It is a result of your choice to believe that God's plans and intentions are much better than yours. As I close this morning, may I remind you of this one simple statement. The things over your head are under His feet. Pakilamnam po ng konti. Medyo, let it sink in this moment. Whatever it is that you're going through. Lahat ng bagay sa ibabaw mo, lumulunod sa'yo, grabe, pinakain ka na. Nasa ilalim ng paa mo. The things that are over your head, under you. Over your head. Pastor, di ko alam how this will be resolved. I don't know. But what's over your head, it's just under you. Pastor, paglabas, okay lahat? I don't know. I don't know the timeline of God. I don't know the purpose of God for you. But it's over your head. Under His feet. Kasi faith comes not from proofs, but from saying to God, God, your intentions for me better than for myself. So I want you to think about what storms you're going through. Panginoon, lahat po ng lumulunod sa akin, nasa ibabaw ko, nasa ilalim lang po ng yapak mo. Things over my under, over my head. Would you think about that this morning? As I can tell you all day, God has great plans. At the end of the day, ikaw yun. Asan mo sa Panginoon. Panginoon, kung totoo po yan sinasabi ni Pastor Mayor, then gusto kong sumunod siya. If totoo po yung binabanggit ni Pastor Mayor, then God, yun ang gusto ko. Heavenly Father, as your people are here this morning, Panginoon, speak to us. Move in our life. Lord, bigkas, Panginoon, pag mali po yung decision namin, guide us, Lord, the direction we're supposed to go. Ikaw po, Panginoon, magmula sa lahat. Because we know, na lahat ng bagay, Panginoon, is over our head. nasa ilalim mo ng lupa. So God, I pray that you would continue to speak and in our lives. Those who are going through storms, Panginoon, remember, help them to remember, Panginoon, that you led them and your purpose prevails above this. Please, Lord, speak to them. Would you stand in this moment? Things over your head. Under his feet. Under isang kanta. The things over my head are under his feet. The things I can't begin, he can complete. He can complete. But you have to follow. You have to follow. You have to follow. As we're praying this morning, I don't know where you are in your Christian walk. Maybe you're in a storm this morning. Maybe you're going through some hard times. As the Lord speaks to you, would you come and bring it to the Lord this morning? Say, God, ito po. God, ito po situation. God, ito po. God, there's a storm. I feel like I'm drowning, but I want to follow you. Kasi gusto ko makita yung plano ko sa buhay ko. Kasi gusto ko manahin yung plano ko sa buhay ko. Follow. Follow Jesus in Christ. But dalawa lang yan. Either follow God in the storm or you go alone. Either follow the Lord sa gitna niyan o pupunta ka mag-isa. Diba? As the Lord speaks to you, the Lord speaking to you today, would you come and let's pray together? Let's sing the Lord together. Say, God, maybe you're here today and nandito ka sa ating church or you're watching us live. You're saying, Pastor, you know, I want to know Jesus. Sa ganyan pa lang. But wala ko na lang time sa buhay ko where sinabi ko sa Panginoon, God, starting today, you be the Lord of my life. You be the Savior of my life. Would you say to God, ngayong umaga, sabi yung Panginoon, pagod na po ako, na ako na susunod, ngayong oras na ito nga. I want to follow you. Gusto ko pong sumunod sa iyo. Sa plano mo sa buhay. Ikaw po, Panginoon, ang susunod. Maging tagapagligtas kita, Panginoon. Be my Savior, forgive me of my sins. Father. Father, as we're here this morning, you understand, Lord, every heart, every need, everything, Lord, is being prayed for. Alam mo po, Panginoon, lahat, nothing is hidden from you. So God, I pray for all my brothers and sisters here. Lord, let them see, Panginoon, na lahat ng bagay na tumataklob sa amin, over our head, they're just under your feet. Hindi ka po nagugulat. Your purpose prevails above our storms. Panginoon, you know, and you are at work in our lives. So God, I pray that you will continue to move, speak, and guide, and comfort, and give peace. Na hindi namin naiintindihan o nararamdaman. It passes all understanding. Let that keep our hearts and minds. Please, God, I pray. In the great name